It's a simple question with probably a complex answer.
All right.
877-881-1053, Franklin Frankel Injury Attorney text line, or the YouTube, or the Twitch. The 2024-25 Dallas Stars season was...
I've given this a lot of thought.
Okay, great.
And I love the thing that you just said. It's a simple question with probably a complex answer, because I tried to make it a simple answer over and over and over.
Yeah.
And there's no way
tough.
that I can do it without having to explain myself. Beautiful Letdown.
Ooh, I like that.
Which is the name of a Switchfoot song. So go check that one out. I love that song. The series wins over Winnipeg and Colorado were amazing rides.
Agreed.
You couldn't have gotten any better moment than closing out Colorado the way that Mikko did. Like you're just a game 7 that everything's on the line for that, and you have to have it, and he comes back and does it. Nothing better than what it was. And the way that they took Winnipeg out, like it was both series were beautiful. Then number 1, game 1 of the Western Conference Final was amazing.
Yes.
The rest of it was a letdown.
Yeah.
And so, like, it was beautiful to watch. And I bet hockey fans were looking at it going, man, that's a damn good little run here. And this is the amazing part to me, Kevin. After Colorado, Mikko's the greatest. After Winnipeg, it's like, now that's it. Like, I know we were sitting there going, Edmonton's a lot tougher.
Sure.
But the feeling amongst Stars fans was, nothing can stop us now. We just went through the biggest gauntlet already. This is just another step on the way to it. And now we're trying to fire everybody. So like it's just the amazing separation that we went on because of this series. So that's where I am, is that it was the first 2 series were beautiful. This season was beautiful, but also a letdown, because at the end of it, you flamed out, man.
Yeah.
So the whole thing, I'm going to say, a beautiful letdown.
So,
because we expected a championship.
I like that description quite a bit. Alec and Corey, you guys might think mine is too harsh. I feel like I kind of tipped my hand on Friday. This Dallas Stars season was a disappointment. And like, to me, there's no other way around it because of the burden of raised expectations.
Yes.
And I'm willing to bet you that most people with the organization would say the exact same thing. Like, we go back to, because you were talking about the Western Conference Finals against Edmonton. You were not even particularly competitive in that series, if we're being honest. Outside of the third period of game 1.
They stepped on you like you were a bug.
Absolutely. Because, and you know what? When we look back at the narrative, like whether or not Edmonton wins the Cup, Edmonton was always looking ahead to Florida, because they were like, Dallas can't hang with us. They can say they're different, but they're not. And you scored 5 goals in the third period of game 1, and that's spectacular. In the other 14 combined periods of that series, you scored 6 goals.
Yep.
And so, like, to me, it's a disappointment. I go back to the stat that Lisa Simakopoulos threw out there, is the Stars are the first NHL team to make the Western Conference Finals 3 straight times and not win the Cup. And so, to me, 2 years ago, you got to the Western Conference Finals. Hell yeah. Like, let's go. You lost to the team that won it all. Last year, back to the Western Conference Finals. You still lost, but I could see how some people thought you were progressing back towards hopefully at least 2020. This year, it's hard to argue to me that you progressed, because you had in my estimation, I'm sure in a lot of people's estimation, an inferior showing to last year and the year before in the Western Conference Final. And so I think this season was a disappointment for the Stars. Not to say, to your point, that there weren't plenty of happy moments and bright spots along the way. But if you just get to the end of the road, you're like, give me one word, it's a disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, even the Mikko trade was like one of those high points in the season that came with a lot of question marks, and then that it felt like a letdown, and then it came back to that high point again. So it just this back and forth feeling with this team.
And just think about that. And then, Alec, I promise we'll get to you on this. You have 8 more years of Mikko Rantanen, and rest assured, a lot of that time is probably going to be filled with he looks like the best player on the ice, and I forgot he was on our team, because that has kind of been his MO from time to time. All right, Alec, your descriptor is?
I would say polarizing. And you can look at that in a few different ways, right? You could isolate that just to the playoffs, where you can see a 6-goal explosion and then you give up a 6-goal explosion. You could say the regular season versus the postseason, where it felt like they could score at any point in time in the regular season. It felt like Jake Ottinger was unstoppable any point in time in the regular season. And then the postseason, it felt like you woke up in the morning and you're like, which Dallas Stars am I going to get today? I do not know. You could isolate it to specific players. Jason Robertson in the postseason versus the regular season. Felt like he was automatic in the regular season. In the postseason, where are you, buddy? The same with Mason Marchment. The same with Mikko Rantanen. After a couple of hat tricks, you say, what have you been up to the past couple weeks? Not too terribly much.
Yep.
So I'd say polarizing, and to kind of wrap it all and tie it up with a bow, is you know that this team is extremely talented, but at the same time, you know that the entirety of that team will disappear on you at any point in time.
And so I want to get y'all's take on this. And this can be about Nil, it can be about DeBoer, it can be about the construction of the roster, it can be about any of those things. Sometimes I struggle with, obviously the roster is a huge part of it. I struggle with, did Nil and DeBoer get you this far? Or is DeBoer, for example, the thing that's keeping you from going the rest of the way? And you might think that that's unfair, and I understand that, but I will say for Pete DeBoer, it is an incredible accomplishment and disappointment all rolled into one, that he's made it to 6 straight conference finals, and he's lost every single one of them. And so it's kind of that thing that I don't know if you think it's like, was it Tony Dungy or something like that, that you would get to a certain point and you're like, he's a really good coach, but that's where he tops out. So sometimes I struggle with, does the front office get the team this far, or does the team get the team this far and the front office is an impediment to getting them over the hill?
Tony Dungy's fascinating because that immediately makes me think of Andy Reid.
For sure.
Andy Reid was the guy that got you this far every time. And was it the perfect pairing with the quarterback? I think at this point, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like he needed the right quarterback. Donovan McNabb was not. Sorry, Ricochet. And then
he was at the FC Dallas game.
Ricochet was awesome. And Alex Smith was not.
Yep.
But Patrick Mahomes is a completely different thing. But Andy Reid was a coach that could get you there.
Yeah.
Every year. Not like, I'll go back. I'd love to see how many losing seasons he's had, because it doesn't feel like many. The guy just won. And so, but it took something on the field, on the ice, I think is the difference, Kevin. I'm thinking that for Pete DeBoer. Guys in that locker room might feel different. Or dressing room, is it a dressing room?
Well, and just think about, we can debate the semantics of that later, but just think about how much then the failures make your roster look that much better. Like, now that Andy Reid has won multiple Super Bowls, you can add in the fact that with the Eagles, he made it to 5 NFC Championship games and a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Right now, it looks like a disappointment on DeBoer's part, but let's say that they won the next 2 titles, and you'd be like, unbelievable.
Right.
He made it to at least 8 straight Western Conference championships. He won 2 cups. He's a great coach.
And the line you'll hear from hockey players and hockey coaches is, it's hard to win a Stanley Cup.
Yes. For Connor McDavid knows that.
They will say that. They will say, and like, clearly, this is a perfect example. DeBoer did all this as great as he was. If he wins as great as he is, but it's difficult to win these championships, and that's why it took him so long to get there, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Kevin, that's also if you're Nil or Gagliardi. I'll say Nil because I feel like Gagliardi is very, he loves this thing, dude. Thank you, Tom Gagliardi, for what you've built here. Appreciate you. But with Nil, the question is, do I want to win it with him?
Yeah.
And if the case is, I'm going to figure out how to win it with this head coach, and no matter what, hell or high water, I'm winning one for him because I think he deserves it. And I think Jamie Benn deserves it. Then that decision makes itself, right?
We are going to have that Jamie Benn conversation.
Yes, but that decision then is, I don't care about anything else. We got to figure out how to do it for these guys.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think some fans can get behind. I also think there's a part of fan base that's like, hey, I just want to win. You figure out how to make that happen.
From the 2-4, Dallas Stars season was standard. They've made it standard to get this far. Anything under that now is a failure, and only winning the cup is success. From the 9-3, and this kind of goes back to Corey's original explanation for the season. The Stars season was disappointing and encouraging at the same time. Was hoping for the cup final at least, but the growth of the core, Ottinger, Wyatt, Harley, man, especially Harley, and Rantanen give me hope for next year. For me, from the 2-4, it was a disappointment. But here's another 2-4. It was a magical postseason run. We were playing with house money. I enjoyed it. Wish we won it all, but we need to get more physical. And that's a fascinating breakdown, and that's how fans are different. Like, how you fan is no different than how people have disagreements in the rest of the world. Like, that person said you're playing with house money throughout the playoff run. I don't particularly agree with that at all, but everybody has their own takes on what's at stake in the playoffs. Like, for me, you'd already been there to this exact same spot twice, and who knows if you'll ever get it back. But when you see all the mentions of the young core, maybe you think you're going to jettison some of the older contracts that perhaps are not pulling their weight anymore, and you will get better and more physical as a team. From the 9-4, the Star season was just like my marriage. Just when I thought we were past all the turmoil, a dude we didn't think would do it ended it all. Golly, I'm sorry about that. That's tough. I feel like that's a bad note for me to end on with that.
Can somebody please text in? Somebody please text in something else. Who the hell is Tom McClarty? That Tom Gaglardi. I'm sorry if I said that incorrectly.
I heard Gaglardi.
So there, but McClarty is. I got to go look and see if that's a person.
I mean, probably. That doesn't feel like the weirdest name. We're the K&C Masterpiece.
Oh my God, there's a lot of them. There's a third. Thomas McClarty the third. That is wild.
All right. There you go. We're the K&C Masterpiece right here on 105.3 The Fan. Coming up next.
Big time public service guy in Arkansas. Worked with the Bush administration and the Clinton administration.
Okay. Nonpartisan.